Everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Marina and it's a pleasure to have you stop by on another video. If it's your first time here, welcome. My name is Marina. We live in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and on this channel I share information to make settling into life in Canada seamless for newcomers and foreign trained professionals. There's something for you to learn here, so please hit the subscribe button and so that you join the family and you know every time I post new content, okay? To the returning subscribers, especially for those of you who are OGs here, this is not a stranger, but in a minute I'm going to let him introduce himself and we can get the video going. How you do your face like that now?
You have to introduce myself.
Yeah, we have new people who have joined us and you have been away for too long, so please introduce yourself.
My name is Fred. Marina's Zaddy.
You have learned how to introduce yourself properly. I'm proud of you. Anyway, for those of you who are new here, this is my husband. He has been away for a bit, and in a minute he's going to tell us where he has been and why you have been away for so long. Play yourself, sir.
I think 2023 was kind of like a really intense year, professionally, personal level, relationships as well. But a little bit, I lost a sibling late last year, and it was tough. They didn't see it coming, so just some of those challenges and I'm sure if you know someone who's lost someone or you've lost someone yourself, you can imagine, especially when you're far away, distance doesn't help. So moved jobs, so that's a big one. And yeah, it's
life has just been life in bottom line.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So not so long ago I did a video where I was talking about what 2023 was like and just sharing some of my struggles with you guys and some of the things that I dealt with. The part that I didn't go into a lot of details on was just how intense 2023 was for us as a family. In 2023, we experienced some of the biggest blessings that we've experienced as a family. We also experienced some of the biggest and the deepest losses that we could also experience. And of course, all of those things take a toll on the marriage relationship, and that's part of what we wanted to just come and share with you guys today, to talk about some of the struggles that not a lot of people share when it comes to living as Africans in Canada. There are a lot of stressors that we deal with when it comes to adjusting to life here and how it affects our marriage relationship. And today we're just going to be talking about some of those struggles that we have experienced in recent time, especially in 2023. If you like to hear sincere, honest opinions, then this is the video to keep watching. But if you're looking for people that will come and lie to you and paint pictures of what is not real, then maybe this is not the right video. You're more than welcome to skip. But if you want to learn from our real life, honest experiences, then definitely keep watching. I find that a lot of times content creators, especially because a lot of people who share information relating to marriage and settling into life in Canada are basically female, there's not a lot of male perspective online. So today, babe, I want to turn this to you, right? What exactly would you say, using 2023 as our baseline, what would you say the African man struggles with abroad, using yourself as an example?
I like the fact that you use the perspective of African, because I think growing up the African man is meant to be the provider, the protector, and all of these amazing things that we stereotypically put on men or a man. So I think that is not lost on us when we come here, and especially when you move to a new country, especially when you don't have support, you don't have people who have gone before you that you can relate these things to. You're basically figuring it out by yourself. So I think that kind of takes a toll on us. We just rinse and repeat. We just keep doing it. We're like on auto drive. And we don't realize that at some point your emotions are going to catch up with you. So I feel we're kind of like blindsided by the fact that we're human too. And when you come here, you want to make everything work. And sometimes when they don't work, you start to question your effort, your decision, and all of that stuff. So that's what I think, and I think we'll probably talk about that some more.
Yeah. If you're new here, we have a couple of videos that we've done together where we've talked a bit about some of our own struggles, how moving here changed our marriage. I'll link some of those videos in the description box for you guys to go check out. But what I wanted us to talk about today is just using the last year and how that has been for us. So let me provide a bit of context. This is 2024, and in August we would have been married for 13 years. Right? I was of the opinion that when you pass certain milestones in marriage, there's some things that you don't struggle with anymore. But 2023 proved all that completely wrong. I feel like both of us came to the point. Now, this is from my perspective. He's going to share his perspective as well. For the last 2 years, I would say that both of us came to the point where all these other responsibilities, all the responsibilities that come with all the hats that we wear, started to interfere with our relationship with one another. So we started to prioritize being parents over being husband and wife. We did not set out to start to ignore each other, but it just seemed like we started to prioritize a lot of other things, and we were the ones that came last in each other's priority list. It didn't start last year, but I just think that 2023 last year was like the tipping point. It was like 2023 was now showing us our report card of how the last couple of years prior had been. 2023 was just that tipping point where it now became very visible that something was wrong. We had reached the point where we just could no longer hear each other. We did not prioritize each other. We were not listening to each other. We couldn't hear each other. We just stopped paying attention, bottom line, guys. And we experienced a breakdown in our relationship. Like, from my perspective, I just thought the things that were important to me didn't come across as important to him. Like, if something is important to me, even if you don't understand it, my expectation is that you would stop at least and pay attention to it because it's important to me. And I was not getting that from him. So I was very frustrated. And of course, when you come to that point where you're bitter, you're frustrated, that's what you start to give back to the other person. So instead of support, it now became blame and criticism and things like that. So that's it from my perspective. That's what I think happened. What would you say happened from your perspective?
I think for me, 2023, my vulnerabilities in terms of my hold on who my identity is, what my identity is rather, it kind of like showed up, right? You almost question what you're supposed to be doing. Like, what's your purpose as a father, as a husband, as a professional? All of that stuff kind of like showed up in 2023. And I didn't understand what it was. The drive, the motivation, the zeal, to be creative and move forward and plan ahead and all of that stuff. Now, because I didn't know what that was, all those things were, I couldn't explain it to her. And the person who I thought would most understand what I was going through didn't get it.
How do you want me to get what you could not explain? So, how am I supposed to understand what I don't know?
So there's a lot of strife. There's a lot of bitterness.
There was bitterness, my husband.
And like, why don't you get what I'm going through? But of course, looking back now, I realized that I couldn't even explain what it was. So we ended up not leaning towards each other. We when there was stuff, we just tried to deal with it. And then she talks about the breakdown, which naturally would be a consequence of when this communication has gone sour, right? So.
Do you think that's what people experience when they have midlife crisis? Do you think that's what was happening to you?
I think so. I would think so.
Serious?
But they said it happens at 40, isn't it?
But you're past 40.
5 years later.
so your carryover from 5 years ago is what we're seeing now.
Yeah,
anyway,
I haven't really looked at it that way. Midlife crisis. Yeah.
Anyway, guys, we're laughing about it now, but when it was happening, it was not funny. And this is just a bit of what a number of African couples deal with abroad. Like, when you're not fighting about money, you're fighting about how chores are going to be split. You're going fighting about basic things. Again, like I said, we've talked about some of those experiences, those phases we have passed.
The thing is, what I realized happened was those times where I thought I wasn't doing enough, or it always, those questions came like, is this all you can do? Like, isn't there more you can do?
There has to be more, yeah.
And then, we know that Marina had gone through school the last little bit, and there was a point where I was thinking, okay, maybe you need to do something, upskill, reskill, retool yourself for the next 10 years and what the work environment is going to be like. So there was a struggle between, okay, can I go back to school now while she's in school? There's a culmination, like I said, a lot of things I wanted to do that I couldn't do because, life was happening. So all those things just came up. And I think, I think the most important thing for us, especially for couples when you're abroad, is talk about it. It's okay. It's okay as a man to tell your wife, like, look, honey, I really feel like things are not going the way I planned. I really wish I had an answer for you. I really don't have something now, but I just need you to support me as I'm going through this. That's what I didn't do a lot, or I didn't do well. And I think it's okay.
Yeah. I totally echo that. It goes back to what you were saying in the beginning about the stereotypes of being an African man. It's almost as if the expectation is that you have everything figured out. You should have everything figured out. As a man, it's your job to figure things out. But the truth of the matter is that as a couple, you no longer have to figure things out by yourself. It's okay for you to admit that, see this thing, I don't know it. Especially if you're in a situation where you are with a partner who seems to have strength in an area that you don't have. The average African man still doesn't know how to defer to a woman in the areas where she's stronger than him. It's almost like a show of weakness if you defer to your wife if she is stronger than you in certain areas. So I saw that show up, not necessarily from a place of you not agreeing to defer, but you not comfortably admitting that you didn't have things figured out. It was almost like the frustration was, I was coming to you with questions, you didn't have the answers, but you were not telling me that you did not have the answers. It was almost like you wanted to figure the situation out by yourself, and when you couldn't, you did not provide any answers to me. I was frustrated because he left me in limbo. You were frustrated because I don't have the answer. But the communication gap was that you were not coming back to me to say, okay, I hear the question that you're asking, but I don't have an answer to that question. Can we figure it out together? Or can you give me some time to figure it out together? That was not happening. So do you guys see how that could have led to like a bit of a breakdown? Not a bit, it was a major breakdown for us. Like it just seems like we could no longer hear each other. We were not turning into each other to lean on each other's strength. We turned against each other. What that whole experience has taught me, like what the whole of 2023 taught me with all of the things that we struggled with, one major lesson that I took from it is that marriage is like a garden, right? It's like a garden that two people are tending to. If you say, oh, I did all the fertilizing last year, I did all the pruning, I did all the gardening last year, I experienced a bountiful harvest last year, so because of that, this year I will not put in any effort, guess what's going to happen? The garden is going to be overtaken by weeds. The work that you did last year that influenced the outcome that you got last year, sometimes it doesn't always translate to the next year. It is continuous work. And what it taught me is that when you stop doing the work, your marriage doesn't become stagnant, it starts to go back. There's no pause. It is either it is going forward or it is going backward. Okay. If you're not putting in the work, if you're not putting in what you need to put into to keep that garden going, if you're not doing the consistent weeding, you're not doing the consistent pruning, you're not doing the consistent watering and fertilizing, the garden doesn't stay as is, weed will start to grow. So that's what happened to us. I feel like we got to the point where we're getting a little too comfortable with all the gardening that we had done in years prior. Our garden got overtaken by weeds. And of course, when there's weed, the weed doesn't just stay like that. It will now invite rodents that on a normal day will not come into the garden. Wait, I'm not saying there was anybody else. See your face.
What are you saying?
I saw your face. What I mean is that basically just saying different things started to tear at our relationship, started to chew at our relationship, and that's how 2023 was the way it was. So where will you say we are now? Like looking back from 2023 and where we are today, like where will you say we are now? Like on the road back to to reclaiming our garden.
We're chasing the rodents, huh?
We have put sniper. We have put insecticide to first of all kill all the weeds so that all the rodents can go. But seriously, practically, how are we doing that?
I think going back to those old ordinances, really, those things that we used to do. where there's time spent with each other, really. We started to do those things again, being more intentional about fertilizing, working the ground, and like the analogy you said. So it's going back to those things, the things that made you be successful, the things that made us be successful. Going back to those things, talking to each other, prioritizing each other, coming back to those agreements we made about how do we raise our kids, what do we want to do, what are the values that we have. So that's one of the things we've done, going back to those things that brought us to where we were before we started negating them, right? So
I like the fact that you talked about the kids, because while all of this tension was going on, we did not have the option not to show up for our kids as their parents, right? So let me provide a little more context for anybody who's confused about what we're probably talking about. So when I say we had like our relationship broke down, it's not like we started to fight and yell at each other or throw things at each other. That's not the way Fred and I fight. The way we fight is in the silence. It's when there's a lot of silence we know that something is off, right? There was no war. I can see it from my side. There was no war, but there was no peace. There was no shouting, but there was no laughter. So with our kids, it was hard for them to even tell that something was off. They knew on the odd occasions where, how I knew that they knew were the times where, okay, for the times in between where there was laughter, and two of them would say things like, yeah, they are smiling at each other, yeah, they are laughing at each other, like, or when they see us kiss and they're like, ew, get a room, things like that. That's how I knew that they could tell on the days we were not laughing. So not like there was fight. Do you understand what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, not like there was fight, but there was no laughter, right? But we still showed up for our children. We're still showing up for them. Did we agree all the time on things as it related to our children? No, because we were not talking about things before the children were involved, if you understand what I mean. But we're still showing up as parents for our children. We're still showing up in all of the ways that we needed to be parents for them. Was it stressful? Yes, because we're no longer doing it as a team. We're just doing it because we needed to do it, right? And that's part of what we have started to do again. Come back to the point where we put our priorities in the right order. What exactly is important to us in this relationship? Right now, we do not have the option to only just think about both ourselves. We now have two people who we are responsible for, who look up to us. Our children are reaching the age now where they are getting more aware, so they look up to us. We are now the model. We are the first example of what a family looks like to them. What do we want to model to those children? Are we telling our son that what he's seeing his father do is okay? Are we telling our daughter that what she sees mommy do is okay? Are we really modeling to them what a family should look like? So we had to go back to the drawing board to say, what did we agree from the beginning? What worked? What did not work? What can we stop doing? What can we start doing? At some point, we got professional help. We needed to have that place where I could talk and feel like I am heard, where he could talk and feel like he was heard, and it was a professional who could do that. So for those of you especially for those of you who have been married a while, sometimes it can get embarrassing. Honestly, I felt a bit embarrassed to say, 30 years in and I'm still in counseling. At what point is this going to end? But the truth is, you don't only go to counseling when something is wrong. Sometimes you just need that sounding board. You need that neutral place where two of you can say, okay, this is what I'm trying to say and you cannot hear me. Professional help was what helped us. I want you to talk a bit about our support system. What would you say the benefit of that was? Having that support system that we could lean on in our friends and the places where we leaned on for help.
I think that was really helpful. Just having those friends that really mean the best for you. I think if you have those kinds of people in your circle, you're absolutely blessed.
Hold them tight.
And so I think it's more, we try to be intentional about that relationship, and we're still growing it, definitely. I think, like I said earlier, at times where you realize that you're not the only one. There's still people who feel that way too. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, it's okay. It's okay to not know. And, just having a shoulder to lean on and to just distress with, it's really, really helpful. It's a support system, and we try to be that for them as well. And I think also very important too is a chance to model good friendships to our kids. and what that means to, when they go into the world, right? And it's okay to be able to pick your friends and choose friends and grow healthy relationships.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, so I just thought we could do this comeback, or Mr. Eteng is doing the comeback, to just speak a bit about what the struggles have been like, to let you all know, like, from day one on this channel, it has been real. When I'm struggling, I tell you guys. When it has been good, you guys have seen it. We struggled last year. We struggled, and that's the reason why some of the things I promised you guys I was going to do, I couldn't do. Some of the videos we said we were going to do together, we could not do it.
Did you tell me to do that? I didn't do.
We said we were going to talk about the house and the process to building our home, and just sharing all of that information. We couldn't do it. Well, work played a major role in that one, Sha, if I'm going to be honest. But the few times we're not working, we're fighting. That's why we didn't do it.
Why did you tell me to do any video?
Baby, we talked about this.
Maybe you said you were going to do any video, but you didn't tell me.
Who shot the video? Were you not there when I said it?
I don't remember. Or maybe you told me I wasn't listening to you.
You were not listening. Correct, guys.
See, you're finally giving you a way out of this whole conundrum.
Anyway, going forward, because we're not fighting as much anymore, 2023 has showed us enough shege. We have learnt our lesson. We're doing better in 2024. So we're going to film all the videos that we're owing them, right? All the videos that we said we're going to film. You guys, please, if you had given us a video idea that you wanted us to talk about that we have not done, please put it in the comment section of this video. I'm going to everything, and we're going to start filming those contents. I feel like we really need to have more conversations like this. And I've had a couple of people ask me about friendships. Like, when we talk about our support system and our friends, I've had a couple of people ask, like, how did you pick your friends? How did you guys build the friendship to what you have now? So I think it's time for us to have that conversation and maybe set them up. Let's all have that conversation and talk about what building this relationship, because adult friendship has dynamics that can be funny, but we'll talk about it. So you guys, if you are watching, my support system, if you are watching, just know that we're coming for you, okay? And you cannot block us. I know where you live. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video, guys. We just thought we'll come here and be honest and be vulnerable with you guys, to share some of our struggles and what we're doing to get over some of the things that we've struggled with. If you're comfortable and you have experiences that you would like to share, you're more than welcome to share that in the comment section. If you, like I said, if you have questions or things that you would like us to film together, please go ahead and leave that in the comment section as well. And do you have anything to say, last words, before we end this?
How do I look? I think I look
fine, boy.
I've grown a lot of beards since.
You have grown older, that's why.
It's stressing me.
See, we're wearing the same clothes. We went to take family pictures to thank God that we are still a family, because the devil tried it. The devil tried it, but we are still one family. We are still a family, nothing shaking. Are we? My guy.
I think it's good with shooting another video. As you can, I'm shy. I don't like to be on camera. Marina's the one who likes to be on camera. I like to be behind the camera.
Did you miss this, being here and filming with me?
Yeah, of course.
So you're not running away for 1 year again, Abby?
No. I'll be behind the camera. When you need me, I'll be in front. So.
Okay. Thank you very much, guys, for watching the video. I hope you learned from this. As relaxed, as laid back as it was, I hope you took lessons from this, because I don't want anybody to make the kind of mistakes that we've made. We want wholesome relationships, we want healthy relationships, and it's going to take work. And I hope that you all are putting in the work that's involved, that's needed to build healthy families and healthy relationships. Thank you very much for watching this video, and until I come your way in the next one, it's Marina and Zaddy. Say thank you and have an awesome day. Bye, guys.